Everyone watching this film, since it is a Disney film, you need to focus on the opening scene, and you will see a couple of hidden Mickeys.
Welcome to Holiday Film Countdown. I'm Jamie Wolter. Today we are going to the North Pole.
That's right. This film is Noelle, our 46th ranked holiday film. Hello, I'm Tim Wolter. When Santa's apparent successor has cold feet, can one of his other heirs save the day?
Our first guest is Luke Wolter. Hello, Luke. Please tell us what you're drinking and give us a quick thought on Noelle.
Hello, I'm drinking just a ginger ale. I thought that I won't be watching this one. This won't become a tradition of mine. That's my main takeaway from this movie.
All right, we'll have to find out why.
Fair enough.
And our other guest is Jason Klam. Hey, Jason, what are you drinking and what's your initial thought on the film?
Good evening. I am drinking a Peach Crown and Ginger Ale, so we're going to call it a Peachy Ginger. And my take on Noelle was, if you're a 7 to 9-year-old little girl or little boy, this is going to be a fantastic movie for you. But after that, that's about it.
Okay, great. And your drink, by the way, Canadian liquor and Canada Dry. This movie was filmed in Canada. So there we go.
There's the wrap that you told me you were going to give me.
You knew it was coming.
And I am drinking just a Topo Chico sparkling water, straight up, but earlier I had a ranch water. And my take on this movie is Jason kind of hit it on the nose. I could see how when our daughter was a few years younger, she used to love the movie. She still likes it. It was right up her alley when she was younger.
Okay. I'm drinking also a Crown Peachy Crown.
Yeah, Peachy Ginger.
Peachy Ginger. And according to Jason, this comes out of Charlotte. And a gentleman named Marvin introduced him to it. So
Yeah,
it could be a
great,
Peach Marvin or a Marvin Peach.
Great bartender for the Marriott in Charlotte, North Carolina. Brought me onto this drink, and it's kind of been my staple for the last year. So
We knew there was a vacation related to this, some sort of travel to this drink. So
It was
now we
always
know
travel.
the truth.
Always travel, not necessarily a vacation.
Okay. All right. And I'll say this film is low on our countdown because of the reasons stated by our guests. And also, it's a newer one. We're not sure how it'll age, but it's got some issues and just the overall flow of it.
Yeah, well, Noelle was written and directed by Mark Lawrence. Mark Lawrence started as a TV writer in the 80s for the sitcom Family Ties. Then he moved on to movies, with Miss Congeniality being his best work. Noelle was originally slated to be released in theaters, but then went straight to Disney Plus streaming in November 2019.
Yeah, and the North Pole is the primary setting. And as I mentioned, those scenes were shot in Canada, around Vancouver. Some scenes were also set and filmed in Phoenix. And by the way, a little teaser here, we have a higher ranked film entirely set in Phoenix. Anna Kendrick stars as the title character, Noelle Kringle, and Bill Hader plays her brother Nick, while Shirley MacLaine plays Elf Polly, and Julie Haggerty is Mrs. Kringle.
So, Luke, what's your history with this movie?
It's very sparse. I don't remember much about this movie, but I did catch my sister watching it a lot of times. It was never one that I really sat down to watch with her. I mean, sometimes if something's just on, I will watch it, even if it's something I don't like and she likes, but this one I couldn't do it. I just wanted to leave the room.
Okay, and Jason, what's your history with Noelle?
No history. This was actually my first time watching Noelle, but it did, like a lot of the Disney movies that have either gone to streaming or straight to DVD back in the day. It's one of those that you could see that's getting played over and over and over again on car rides with the young children. And so that's kind of what it reminded me of Mickey's Great Christmas or a Mickey Mouse Christmas that I know in our car when my children were young, that's constantly was playing. So I can kind of see this as being very similar.
Yeah, like when you know every word to a movie, even though you don't even like that movie, it's just been played so much by your child.
And it's cute. I mean, it's cute.
It is. It is. It's not. It definitely has that flair to it, and we'll get into it. But the definitely gives a Christmas feel. So my history is pretty much the same as Luke's, except that I did sit down and watch it. I didn't just get a glimpse of it. I think this was my third time seeing this movie. But I've heard it, and it's been on a lot more than that. But to actually sit down and fully watch it, I would say it's my third, maybe fourth.
Okay. And I had seen it one time before in full when we were preparing for this countdown. We had to QC all this stuff. And you earn your stripes, right?
That's right. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the trailer.
Now streaming from Disney Plus. I've been training to be Santa my whole life. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you can't be Santa if you're having a nervous breakdown. There's nothing hairy about that.
Santa has disappeared.
I'm going to Phoenix, get my brother, and save Christmas.
When Santa's gone missing, it's Noelle's mission to find him and save the holiday.
You're so hot. Hello. I like your pants.
They're yoga pants, like yours.
These are my yogurt pants.
Yoga pants.
I love yogurt pants.
Disney's Noelle, now streaming on Disney Plus. Rated G.
So, Luke, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was just as funny as the movie, and I've pretty much seen the whole movie to see the trailer.
Are you being sarcastic about it's funny? Or do you mean that, being sincere?
I do mean that, and that they both aren't that funny, and
So a little sarcastic.
a little bit. Yeah, and just the sense that if you see the jokes in the trailer, you've seen all the jokes in the movie. You know?
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Jason? What do you think of the trailer?
I mean, Luke pretty much nailed it. It's interesting when you see certain trailers and you start wishing that the movie is going to be kind of beyond what the trailer is. In the trailers, you see that, and most people are going to be like, "Oh, yeah, I want to go see that. That's going to be a sit down. Maybe not go to the theater, but that's going to be a sit down." And then when you sit down and actually watch the film, you're like, "Oh, I really, literally just saw everything that was good in the 2.5 minutes, and now I just sat through an hour and a half." But those parts were still good.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with both of you. All the funny parts were in the trailer, and especially after watching the movie and then seeing the trailer, you really realize, okay, I mean, it was just said, you could just leave out the movie and just watch the trailer and you would know everything in it. But there were some funny moments, and if you hadn't seen the movie and you're actually watching the trailer to see if you want to watch the movie, I could see how you might be like, okay, let's try it. Let's watch this movie.
Yeah, it's got a little star power there, so you recognize some faces, and it can draw you in to watch it. Something I noticed, we'll talk a little bit more about the soundtrack later, but there's a Kelly Clarkson Christmas song called Underneath the Tree that plays through most of the trailer, but does not appear in the movie. So I'm not sure why.
That's that buy-in.
It's budget.
Come see the amazing trailer, and guess what? You're going to get this amazing movie.
All right, so here's some fun facts. It's the first of 5 films in this countdown that went straight to streaming or cable, meaning never released in theaters. It's a Disney film, and the production budget was tough to find. I did an extensive internet search. I saw on IMDb $2 million listed, but that's way too low. We all together talked about it. We figured probably 20 to maybe 25 million. I mean, just 10 million just to get everyone to show up. So that's our guess. Noelle has a score of 2.7 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and we'll be giving our own reviews and scores later.
Yeah, there's no way it was only 2 million, I don't think. Just like we said earlier, just the stars alone would probably eat up that budget right there. Not that it looks like a real high budget movie, it just doesn't look, I don't think they could possibly do it for that budget, but I don't know, 2.7, we'll have to get to that later.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting conversation. All right, we have one other 2019 film in this countdown, and it's ranked a bit higher. Noelle is one of only 3 Disney films in our 50 film countdown.
Luke, what did you think about the setting of the story, like the decorations and the Christmas flair to the movie?
I thought it was pretty cool. North Pole was decorated about as you'd think it would be decorated. It was almost as if those the miniatures that some people put in their homes. That's just like the idea, like winter town.
Like the snow globes and
That's
the little villages that some people decorate with.
right. You definitely get that whole movie. Victorian style Christmas vibe. I did think that it was very interesting that they set part of the film in Phoenix, Arizona. They didn't get much snow. It was unique, but it just added very little to this movie's overall feeling of just the holiday spirit.
Yeah, but I think that's what they were trying to do by going to Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
To do the opposite of, like, he just needed to get away. That's totally getting away, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's totally opposite of the North Pole.
Yeah, in that sense, I guess it works within the movie.
Mm-hmm.
What'd y'all think of the elves? How'd we do here?
I really appreciated that elves were real people. And when you try to think about Christmas, and in every other instance, whether it's a animated movie or some other Christmas movie, they've portrayed elves as of course, little people. And when you try to think about the spirit of Christmas and try to think about everyone doing all the work, and I'm not saying that elves are little or big or existing at all, but I liked the fact that it was just regular people with pointy ears.
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment when Shirley MacLaine pulls back her, I don't know, it was like a little flap on her hat, or maybe it was an ear warmer, I can't remember. But she pulls it back and she's got the pointy ears. I was like, they did a pretty good job with that. That was funny.
How about the reindeer? What do we think of these reindeer?
Reindeer were awesome.
Yeah, they were pretty alright. I guess the fact that the movie was very blurry when we were watching it aided in like helping them look nicer. Like, I imagine the budget wasn't too high. It'd be pretty noticeable seeing the big CGI reindeer. Because the thing is, like, they were all CGI the entire time. There was no real reindeer at all. And what I thought was interesting is that throughout the whole movie, no one really interacted with the reindeer. Like, in the sense that there was no, like, physical connection. I thought that was very interesting. Definitely a time and cost-saving measure, because it's very hard to have a real element of film and a fake element of film interacting that way. It does kind of feel a little awkward. Like when they're at the mall, and they can see all the people are very interested by all these reindeer, but they just stand around them, and it's very linear in that sense.
And distant.
It's really distant.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you had to do CGI in the air, which forced CGI on the ground.
Right.
I'll have to pay attention to how the rest of these movies handle
I
that transition.
Personally, I enjoyed the reindeer.
Even Snow Cone?
Snow Cone was my favorite.
All right.
Take away the optics and the CGI, and Luke, you're dead on. It was really weird to see the reindeer when they're at the mall and they're standing there, and next thing you know, there's just a line of people, and it's just a row. There's no interaction, there's no petting, but yet all of a sudden the reindeer's head magically turns and grabs cotton candy, and it's like that doesn't really look real, but I enjoyed that.
I liked the hot chocolate. There was no eggnog, right? But they had hot chocolate. And I liked the part when Noelle is telling her brother that you need to just get away for the weekend, and they're at a coffee shop. I guess it's a coffee shop, but they're drinking hot chocolate. And to me, it really made me want hot chocolate because they put in so much whipped cream on the top with some candy cane. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so good to me right now. And it actually looked really good. That kind of stood out to me. But we didn't have any mistletoe, right? No mistletoe.
I didn't see it.
Snow Cone brought some mistletoe for the card.
Was it mistletoe
Or was that holly? It could have been holly.
That's questionable. I didn't think about that.
There was very little kissing in this movie.
That's true.
That was
is
probably
true.
holly.
That is true. It most likely was
It
holly.
was G-rated, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
True.
I will say the one thing, I know, Jamie, you were talking about the scene and the scenery. I'm a big Disney guy. And, you know, my family, we love Disney World, Disneyland. I've been multiple times. And one of my favorite things to do is at every Disney park and in most Disney movies, they will put hidden Mickeys.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone watching this film, since it is a Disney film, you need to focus on the opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see a couple of hidden Mickeys.
Oh, very good. Yes. You're right.
I think I screamed it out during the movie.
You did. Thank you. I would not have noticed.
Did.
Appreciate that. What did y'all think of the Santas? Okay, so the first Santa dies in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And this movie
That
really
was Santa.
is.
I mean, he looked like Santa, was bearded, and
This movie's really about Santa. And
Bill Hader did not pull it off, but I don't think he was supposed to. So
Right.
I think
No.
that's where it kind of gets to the whole point of the movie is he did not want to be Santa, and he did not pull it off.
Right.
We'll see how Noelle ages. I want to see her gray and fat. Then we'll reassess. But unfortunately, there will not be a sequel to this film.
Fortunately, yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the characters. So, Noelle Kringle is played by Anna Kendrick. I know her from Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
That's the main place. Another film on repeat around this house at certain eras. And I like her in certain roles. She did a good job here. And then Kris Kringle was played by Bill Hader. We know him from Saturday Night Live primarily. And also we have Shirley MacLaine playing Elf Polly. I know her from Terms of Endearment.
Legendary.
Oh, yeah. Houston, Texas film, by the way.
Yes.
Steel Magnolias. And about 20 other movies. And then I'll also mention Julie Haggerty, because I remember her as Elaine from Airplane. And
Yeah.
she played a great role in that. I loved her role in that film.
One of the greatest comedies of all time.
Absolutely.
And Don't Call Me Shirley.
And by the way, Julie Haggerty appears in another film in our holiday countdown. So, what do we think of the characters? Anyone have any favorite characters? Any commentary on the acting? Anyone who came out of nowhere and shined here?
I'll start. I mean, look, I think Anna Kendrick I think she's a very good actor. She thrives in certain roles to where it's in my opinion, you look at her and it's the unknowing. She's not a dimwit, but she's kind of clueless in some aspects. And I think she does a really good job in those roles. And then she ends up being the character that brings everything together. And we saw that in Pitch Perfect. And I think there's another movie she's in where she starts dating the assassin, which I don't remember the name, but I think it's a fantastic movie. She plays very much a similar character. I thought she did a great job. Shirley MacLaine was phenomenal.
Yeah, I have to say my favorite character was Kris Kringle by Bill Hader. It's kind of a shame. I didn't feel like he had enough screen time. Kind of bummed me out because even from the start I thought he was a very interesting character.
I thought about that too. I was trying to figure out how they could have worked him in more. It would have been tough. I mean, because he had to go in exile, by default, it's hard to get him enough screen time.
Yeah, just the nature of his character.
Yeah, he wanted to get away.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tend to agree with you all. Anna Kendrick, again, she plays that role very well. She kind of even gets the little look in her eyes, like she's just so innocent and everything's flying over her head.
Yeah.
I mean, she just has that look about her that she can do. And Shirley MacLaine, of course, she plays the good, kind of cynical almost at the beginning when she's like, "Oh, you couldn't live without me," and then she's saying, "Well, I need what kind of underwear did she need washed?"
It was the Partridge in a Pear Tree.
Pear tree underwear. She's like, "Oh no, what did she say? It makes my
Now my day's
Christmas."
complete or
Oh
something.
no, but yeah, just like that was good, you know.
Yeah, she always plays that part.
I know she does.
I-
she does that.
She
so
may
well.
not be acting. In terms of endearment,
Right.
she was the only character who really didn't cry. I think in Steel Magnolias, I don't know if she cried there. There was a scene in this film where everyone was crying at the end. She wasn't crying. That's her shtick. She doesn't cry.
Stoic leader.
Yeah,
No nonsense. Build you up when you need it.
true.
My favorite, I think, character that no one really, I guess, would think of is Cousin Gabe. I don't know the actor's name, but I know him from Parks and Rec. He plays that character so well. He's the tech guy that they hand over the Santa hat to, and he's like, "Well, fine, I'm going to change it exactly how I want to," which means no one gets Christmas presents, and
Oh yeah,
it's
he was
gonna be
harsh.
Amazon delivery, and
I like this concept. He just took it a little too far,
yes,
but I like the enforcement.
Yeah, he was working out his own formula.
Yep.
If the kids were naughty or nice, it was like, "You have bad dental hygiene. You didn't brush your teeth enough. You're naughty."
no floss, no vegetables, no presents.
That's right. That's right.
And then I like the kid Alex. I noticed he was the only kid who did not ask for an iPad.
Yes,
That's true. I do like when they.
Wait, that's not true. The little girl in the thing did not ask.
the
She
deaf
did.
girl, she did.
She did.
She did. She
did.
her
And
mama
She
job.
wanted the job and an iPad.
And
Oh,
she
you're
just-
right.
and
I
she went,
stand corrected.
She did not want the iPad above the other, but in the end, she stuck it in there.
All
She
right.
did.
Had to
No,
do
you're
it.
right,
Sorry,
Tim.
Luke.
Alex was the only one that did not ask for the iPad.
It's true. I like to see kid characters that like have some level of awareness and intelligence what's going on. I don't know. I just really like that, how they switch things up a little bit.
Okay, and there was one other kid who did not ask for an iPad, and it was the mean girl at the mall. Her name was Tanya. Of course, her name was Tanya.
Yes.
And she didn't get her chance to ask for an iPad because Noelle busted her before she could do it.
Told her she was making fun of her best friend.
Exactly. Booted her back to her parents. So,
What about the funniest scene, Luke? You have a funniest scene? Or something that just made you laugh?
I did laugh when she went to the Jewish house. I thought that was funny, even though like it was very weird because they had the menorah in the background and they were eating like the Chinese dinner. It's just also like all the pieces are there. It's so like stereotypical that they just have all this stuff around, and it's just for this one joke. I was like, I don't know. It's funny in the way that like it's so unsubtle that you just can't help but laugh. You know what I mean?
right. They didn't slip it in there. It was like in your face.
It was
In
like slapping
your face. And Noelle's face when the dad just said, we're Jewish.
Yeah.
I think the face made it. Jamie, you had mentioned this, the glazed over. She just kind of went, and
Yeah.
just went back up the chimney.
you. Yeah. Yeah, she does a good job of just looking cute and like, oh, well, okay. And turning on around.
I have a funny scene. Very corny, of course. But I like how the elder judge keeps grabbing the little pieces of candy cane. And then
The gavel.
The gavel.
Candy cane.
when it won't crack, he licks it. And I also just like the fact that he was the thinnest one in the entire room. But he's the one who's always grabbing the candy. I always like that kind of stuff.
That was cute. The when she went and was, of course, looking for her brother and sees the first Santa and goes up to him and tells him, that suit is an honor. It's a privilege to wear that suit. And of course, he doesn't have pants on because they're in Phoenix, and he's got like swim trunks. And she just yells at him, "No, go put some pants on."
That was good.
I felt like maybe the sappiest or the saddest was when she's sitting on the bench and everyone's mad at her for telling him to go on vacation, go take some time off, and everyone is mad at her and is blaming her for it when she was really just trying to be helpful, like, you need a break, take a break, but come back. It was just supposed to be for a weekend, not for ever. And she's just sitting there and she looks so hopeless.
Yeah, it was also sappy when the deaf girl signs, "My mom is looking for work." I mean, there you go. And also that same girl was the first one to recognize her as Santa. And she signs Santa to her. So that was pretty sappy.
And then the suit fit.
Exactly.
And then, let's see, cliche or predictable. We kind of did that with the Jewish scene, huh? Any others?
I have a cliche scene.
Okay.
It's the kind of harkens back to Elf, fish out of water. She's walking through the mall and just realizing that life outside the North Pole is different. And that whole shtick that, we've seen before.
This movie really did take a lot from Elf, now that you mention it.
Yeah, there's some Elf influence here. Any other scenes y'all want to talk about?
Well, I thought that when they're looking at the pictures of the children and sometimes they just have to know if the kid is naughty or nice. And they're showing that little boy who just looks like, I don't know, he's got like a sour look on his
Right.
face. And you're thinking, oh, that's for sure going to be naughty. And then she's like, nope. What did he save?
Saved a cat.
Saved the
while,
cat,
while
yeah.
visiting his grandmother in a home.
That's right. And so it was kind of like each picture, it was like the exact opposite of the way the child looked. The child they kind of portrayed like a mean face, and then they're like, nope, nice. And then when they look all sweet, nope.
She cheated on every
Yeah,
math
every
test
math
or whatever
test.
it was. Yeah.
Yep, don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
Only the real Santa knows. And then I did like that they made the French kid the mean one. I thought that was kind of funny. Stereotyping once again. All right, we good on scenes?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Any quotable lines here?
I have one. I'm sorry. I must have cotton candy in my ears.
There were several times that instead of saying, "Oh my God," or "Oh my gosh," it's kind of, I think what they were trying to get was this going to be the movie phrase that got caught on, "Oh my Garland." That was said throughout the entire movie. "Oh my Garland."
You have any quotes, Luke?
This wasn't really much of a quotable movie. And an iPad. That's my quote.
And that's good, Luke.
Yeah, One that I recalled was, oh, they asked Noelle, "Are you from Canada? Or is the North Pole in Canada?" And she says, "Oh, Canada wishes." That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was funny. I think the moral of the story is that, well, we kind of said it earlier, don't judge a book by its cover. Also, maybe sometimes things change. It's not always the typical traditional thing is the right thing. Meaning with the brother not really wanting to be Santa, even though it was supposed to be passed down to him. It was her. What do y'all think? Any other morals?
I'll get on a soapbox.
Okay.
I just think this movie missed a great opportunity. And I think it speaks to how the portrayal of sons and daughters are. That the son is automatically supposed to take charge of whatever the family business is, even though the daughter is more qualified. And how they looked at trying to create this movie and create that message. It was I'm gonna put Noelle as the mess up, the one that was selfish, which when you watch throughout the film, she really wasn't. There was a couple of lines that she said, hey, go clean my underwear. But other than that, you watch throughout the entire film. She said, hey, you don't need to be doing this for me. And I can do this. And they just tell her, go make the card, go make the card. Your job is to provide joy. I just think they missed a great message to kind of tie back into, it's not always the son, it's not always the male heir that is going to be the one that is the promised one, I guess, the chosen one, so to speak. And it's it's as a girl dad, and Tim, I know you're a girl dad as well. You also have sons, and I have a son. It's so frustrating sometimes for me when I see this type of movie and I see what it could be. But I think they completely missed the mark and missed the opportunity to provide a different message.
Yeah, it's tricky because in this particular situation, there's such a differential between the one who is the one and the one who's not. Fortunately, in real life, there's the one, the other one, this one. Whatever their journey is, there's a good place.
Right.
And they can rank high in each of their own respects. This film is obviously a simple children's Christmas tale, and it's a fairy tale, so there's got to be an alpha A plus and a beta helper.
Yep.
So
When I was a little girl, Christmas Eve was always the best night of the year. But this time it was better than ever. Because instead of getting the presents, I was giving them.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, even at the beginning of it when he gets the hat for Christmas, right? And he opens it up and he's just kind of looking at it, and she is like, Noelle's like, oh, she's all excited.
More
The
excited
parents
than
are
he
so
is.
excited, and he's just kind of looking at it, and he pulls it out and he puts it on, and it doesn't fit. It's too big. Then you see later on in the movie pictures when he has it on and he's never smiling. I mean, he's just like dressed up like Santa but straight faced. And they showed it twice doing that before, and I noticed that everyone else is smiling but not his picture.
So those here who had never seen this before, within the first 5 to 7 minutes, did you know where this was headed based upon that
Absolutely.
interaction?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I almost thought that. I was like, okay, I know exactly where this movie is heading, but maybe it's not heading that way. Because sometimes they throw in it like a crazy twist you don't expect coming. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was exactly.
Very, very predictable
Yeah.
after the first 7 minutes.
Okay, let's go with hot takes. Does anyone have any hot takes here, or have we covered them all?
I just spilled mine.
All right. Luke, you have any?
Not really, no.
Jamie?
Yeah, I can't recall any. I didn't write any down, and nothing sticks out to me on this one.
Okay, I'm going to go with Jake is the very best private eye ever. By one phrase from Noelle, he's able to determine that her brother is a yoga instructor and is somehow able to track him down in Phoenix, Arizona with, 3 or 4 million people.
That is pretty good.
He's a pretty good private eye.
That is pretty good. I guess I'll say that Polly is the true leader of the North Pole.
Yeah.
That's accurate, yeah.
I agree. The only other person who was close was that elder who kept messing with the candy
Kept
cane.
licking the candy cane.
So I don't think that was happening for him. I have another one. I kind of found that snow cone leading the reindeer, it's a little bit of a slap in the face to Rudolph. I mean, we all know the story. We all know how it goes. And then this little reindeer is suddenly at the front of the line.
Yeah, I didn't see any Rudolph in this movie. No red-nosed reindeer at all.
I don't know. I just think Rudolph is so established that you go with 8 or you go with 8 plus 1, and that plus 1 will be Rudolph.
If there's going to be 9, it's got to be Rudolph. But I don't know. Snow Cone was kind of cute, though.
Oh, yeah, I liked him.
Snow Cone was cute. Honestly, in that scene when she calls him over to help, fly I thought he was going to get in the seat with her. I was really shocked. I was like, oh, okay, she's going to put him on the line, because he looks like a baby, right? I mean,
That's where I want Snow Cone.
huh?
If I'm Noelle, that's
Yeah.
where I want Snow Cone.
Yeah, in the seat with you.
Yes.
Not leading. You're gonna go on Donner, on Dancer. Yeah.
And then one other thing. The psych ward in the hospital on the 10th floor, somehow it's unlocked. They just go, slide that window open, jump in the sleigh. I mean,
Yes.
come on.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, those windows don't open.
I don't know. I mean, I know Phoenix is a nice place, but that's a little too much.
I also don't know a whole lot of psych wards on the 10th or 11th floors either. Pretty much going to be lower, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure about that one. Well, I feel like the parent guide is appropriate because it's rated G, and I think G is perfect. I wouldn't rate it another way. There was nothing that would say it needed to be anything different than G to me.
Nope. I think if you're a parent and you've got a younger child, you can feel safe to play this movie and walk out of the room.
I agree.
I agree.
Absolutely. And no blushing when grandma walks in.
Nope. That's totally fine. Fine for everyone.
All right, let's cover the soundtrack. There was not an overwhelming number of songs on this film, like some we recently reviewed. We had Winter Wonderland by Ray Charles, Blue Christmas by that elf choir at the North Pole.
Yep.
That was one of the more audible or hearable songs in the film. A lot of it was in the background. And there was a lot of orchestral type classical playing in the background also. But there's really not much to say about this soundtrack. Underneath the Tree by Kelly Clarkson, as mentioned, was in the trailer, but did not hear it in the film and did not see it in the film credits.
So, Luke, if you had to rate this movie 1 to 5, what would you rate it and why?
I'm giving it a 2.5.
I don't have anything negative to say about the movie, but I also don't have anything positive to say about the movie. It's just very mediocre, so I'm going right down the middle with a 2.5.
Yep.
How about you, Jason? How would you rate it?
I give it a 2.8. I thought the trailer was fantastic. I loved the reindeer. And I give it that rating just for the pure fact that if you are a parent and you could put this movie on and it'll entertain someone for an hour and a half and you can step away, I think it's a little bit higher than right above average. Nothing against Luke's, but when he has kids, he'll understand. If you can walk away for an hour, it gives a 2.8 for me.
I mean, I'm going to rate it a 3, and pretty much the same reason that Jason's talking about, because it is a movie for everyone. And in our house, we love Christmas, and we're always looking for a Christmas movie to watch together. My sister and her family always come, even though the kids are all older now. For many years when we had little kids running around here, just trying to find things to entertain them, this would have been easy to put on and not have to worry about anything inappropriate. And I think everyone would have been entertained by it. So for that reason, I could recommend it to people. And I feel like it was entertaining. It just wasn't the best movie.
Okay. I tend to elevate above, but I'm going to go straight up with Letterboxd on this one. It's a 2.7. It's good to watch once and repeatedly if you're of the right age. And there's some entertainment there. and it was not awful. So it's slotted where it needs to be.
So, Luke, would you recommend this movie to someone? And if so, who?
I would recommend this movie to just anyone under the age of 7, maybe. If you like Disney Channel original movies, you will love this movie.
And you, Jason, to whom would you recommend
I
this?
agree with Luke. I'll bump it up to about 10. So anyone 10 and under, just knock yourself out. Get in a car ride, throw this thing on. You'll be at your destination before you know it.
Yeah, I would recommend it again to young families. Also, just people who maybe have felt like they've seen every Christmas movie and are just looking for something else. As well, if you're tired of the good old traditional ones that make it every year, try this one.
Same here. I'd recommend it. Maybe in the 3-year rotation or something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely for kids. Also, if you love Pitch Perfect and really like Anna Kendrick, watch it.
So, Luke, what is your favorite holiday film then?
I'm gonna have to go with Gremlins. That's my favorite holiday film.
All right.
And why is that your favorite?
Because it's just so different. It's like sometimes people might forget that it is a holiday film, but it very much is. I think it's at the center of its story, and the fact that it could have like a holiday at the center of its story and just still like be so distinct on its own, I think it's really cool.
Okay. Well, we will be visiting Gremlins one day. And Jason, what's your favorite holiday film and why?
Luke, that's fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
My favorite holiday movie is Love Actually.
And what do you love about Love Actually?
I enjoy the script. I enjoy the acting. I enjoy the different stories wrapped into one story. And I enjoy the message. I think it's a pretty good movie. And then I'll throw Notting Hill on that too. But I know that's not really a Christmas movie, but it's very similar.
So you're a pretty big rom-com guy?
No, not really. Those are really the only two.
Okay. Because there will be a countdown and we may call you.
If you're going to do a show on one of those two, then yes, because those are really the only two that I watch.
Well, one will be in the holiday countdown.
Yes.
And one would definitely make the rom-com countdown. So,
Luke, is there anything you would like to promote?
I would love to promote Peace on Earth.
and Jason, is there anything you'd like to promote?
Yes, I would love to promote my wife and I's nonprofit, which is Texas Fury Flag Football. We are an all-girls flag football organization created here in Texas. And this is our 7th year. We are the first ever all-girls select organization, and it's given young females an opportunity to play a sport that is predominantly played by males and loving it and giving them a chance to get a college scholarship, and some of them get a chance to represent their country for the U.S. national team. So we're
Wonderful. I know you've been all over the world with that.
yes, we have.
Pretty cool.
All right. Well, thank you for joining this discussion of our 46th ranked film, Noelle. Please like, follow, and comment on this podcast.
Yes, please share and spread the word about Holiday Film Countdown. Thank you, Luke and Jason, for joining us. And thanks to all our listeners. Next week, we're moving on to our 45th ranked holiday film, which will take us to Homan, Indiana.